For decades, we have been sold a remarkably narrow story about one of the most powerful molecules in human biology. If you mention it, most people immediately picture enormous gym bags, aggressive bodybuilding magazines, and teenagers trying to pack on 10 pounds of muscle ASAP. Welcome to Dr. Levitas. But this is perhaps the greatest marketing misunderstanding in the history of health science. What if it isn't just a muscle builder, but is actually the most researched, evidence-based anti-aging and brain-protecting molecule on the face of the earth? Today we are diving into the science of the longevity battery. We are exploring why your brain is desperately hungry for this molecule, how it acts as a neurological shield against sleep deprivation, why it might be the key to preventing age-related physical decline, and why virtually every single human being, especially over the age of 40, should be taking it every day. Let's get into the science of creatine monohydrate. Please take a second to like the video and leave a comment. Your engagement is a huge help to the channel. Let's start at the absolute foundation of human energy. What exactly is ATP, and how does creatine recycle this energy currency inside your cells? To understand creatine, you have to understand how your body stays alive. Every single thing you do, from blinking your eyes, to digesting your lunch, to the beating of your heart, requires energy. Your cells don't run directly on the food you eat. They run on a microscopic molecule called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. Think of ATP as the cash currency of your cells. When your cell needs energy, it breaks off one of the phosphate molecules from the ATP, releasing a massive burst of cellular power. But here is the problem: once that energy is spent, the ATP becomes ADP. It's like a dead battery. It's useless until it gets recharged. This is where creatine steps in. Inside your body, creatine binds with a phosphate molecule to become phosphocreatine. It acts like a biological ATM or a rapid charging station. When your cells burn through their ATP and are left with a pile of dead ADP batteries, phosphocreatine rushes in and instantly donates its phosphate molecule. It snaps that phosphate back onto the dead battery, instantly recycling it back into usable ATP. A landmark 2024 review in Cellular Metabolism confirmed that this recycling process is the fastest energy system in the human body. By supplementing with creatine, you are massively expanding your body's backup battery reserves, ensuring your cells never run out of the critical cash they need to function. We always talk about energy in relation to muscles, but let's shift our focus to the organ that needs it the most. Why does the brain consume 20% of the body's energy, making it hyper-reliant on creatine stores? Your brain is a biological marvel, but it is an absolute energy hog. Even though your brain only accounts for about 2% of your total body weight, it consumes a staggering 20% of your daily energy output just to keep the lights on. Your neurons are constantly firing, transmitting electrical signals, and performing complex cellular maintenance. All of this requires an astronomical amount of ATP. Because the energy demand is so high, and the turnaround time is so fast, the brain is incredibly dependent on the phosphocreatine system to keep its ATP recycled and ready. In fact, your brain actually produces its own creatine just to survive. But clinical research shows that our natural production often falls short of optimal levels, especially as we age. When your brain's creatine stores are topped off through supplementation, you're providing your neurons with an overflowing reservoir of rapid-fire energy. This means faster processing speeds, quicker recall, and a profound reduction in mental fatigue when you are focused on a difficult cognitive task. You aren't just fueling a workout, you're fueling your consciousness. This energetic buffer doesn't just make you think faster, it actually protects the physical structure of your mind. How does creatine protect the brain from damage during periods of severe sleep deprivation or minor concussions? When the brain undergoes trauma, whether it is a physical impact like a mild traumatic brain injury or the severe biological stress of sleep deprivation, it experiences an energy crisis. The neurons become wildly overactive, demand massive amounts of ATP to repair themselves, and simultaneously struggle to produce it. When neurons run out of ATP, they lose the ability to maintain their cellular walls, leading to rapid cell death. Creatine steps in as the ultimate neurological armor. A fascinating 2023 clinical trial published in the Journal of Neurotrauma demonstrated that preloading the brain with creatine significantly mitigates the damage caused by concussions. Because the brain has a massive backup supply of phosphocreatine, it can easily weather the energy crisis without the neurons starving to death. Similarly, during acute sleep deprivation, creatine supplementation has been shown to almost entirely reverse the cognitive decline and mood deterioration associated with missing sleep. It provides the brain with the raw energetic currency it needs to keep fighting, repairing, and functioning, even under immense biological duress. There is one specific group of people who see the most dramatic, almost unbelievable cognitive benefits from this molecule. Why do vegans and vegetarians experience a massive IQ and memory boost when starting creatine? Your body produces about half of the creatine it needs internally, mostly in the liver and kidneys. The other half must come from your diet. In nature, creatine is found almost exclusively in skeletal muscle, meaning meat and fish. If you follow a strict plant-based, vegan, or vegetarian diet, your dietary intake of creatine is virtually zero. Because of this, vegetarians walk around with chronically depleted muscle and brain creatine stores compared to omnivores. When researchers take plant-based individuals and give them 5 grams of creatine a day, the results are staggering. A highly cited double-blind, placebo-controlled study showed that vegetarians given creatine experienced a massive, statistically significant increase in working memory and fluid intelligence, which is a core component of IQ. Their brains were essentially running on a low battery for years, and the moment they were plugged into the charger, their cognitive potential exploded. Whether you eat meat or not, ensuring your brain has optimal creatine levels is a non-negotiable pillar of cognitive health. Now, let's return to the body, but through the lens of longevity rather than bodybuilding. How does creatine pull water inside the muscle cell, creating an anabolic environment that prevents sarcopenia? As you age, starting as early as your 30s, you begin to lose muscle mass in a process called sarcopenia. This isn't just about looking less toned. It is about losing the metabolic engine that protects your bones, manages your blood sugar, and keeps you independent. We know that resistance training is vital, but creatine is the ultimate catalyst for healthy aging. Creatine is an osmotically active substance. This means that wherever creatine goes, water follows. When you supplement with creatine, it is pulled inside the muscle cell, and it draws intracellular water in with it. This is not water retention under the skin that makes you look bloated. This is deep, cellular hydration. According to a 2025 review in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, this cellular swelling acts as a profound mechanical signal to the cell's DNA. The cell interprets the swelling as a command to increase protein synthesis and decrease protein breakdown. By keeping the muscle cells highly hydrated and energetically full, creatine creates a protective, anabolic environment that violently pushes back against age-related muscle wasting. It is the ultimate biological insurance policy for your physical frame. With all these incredible benefits, we have to address the dark cloud that has hovered over creatine for decades. Does it actually cause kidney damage or hair loss? We need to debunk these 90s myths with modern clinical science. Let's tackle the kidney myth first. When your muscles use creatine, they produce a harmless byproduct called creatinine, which your kidneys filter out. In traditional blood tests, high creatinine can sometimes indicate failing kidneys. In the 1990s, doctors saw healthy athletes with high creatinine levels and panicked, assuming the supplement was destroying their organs. But we now know it was a false alarm. A massive, comprehensive 2024 meta-analysis encompassing thousands of participants confirmed that long-term creatine supplementation poses absolutely zero risk to healthy kidneys. You are just producing more of the harmless byproduct because you have more creatine in your system. Your filters are working perfectly fine. And what about hair loss? This myth stems from a single, deeply flawed study from 2009 involving college rugby players, which suggested creatine slightly raised DHT, a hormone associated with male pattern baldness. Since then, over a dozen high-quality clinical trials have specifically looked at this exact mechanism. The scientific consensus is now absolute: creatine does not increase total T. It does not increase free T. It does not increase DHT. And it does not cause hair loss. The rumors are dead. It is one of the safest, most thoroughly tested compounds in human history. So, if we want all these incredible benefits for our brain and our body, how do we take it? What is the optimal daily dose, and why is the old-school loading phase completely unnecessary? If you talk to anyone who took creatine 20 years ago, they will tell you about the dreaded loading phase, taking 20 grams a day for a week to saturate the muscles. This old protocol is famous for causing severe gastrointestinal distress, bloating, and cramping. It is completely unnecessary for sustainable health. Modern sports nutrition and longevity science recommend a simple, boring, and highly effective protocol. Take 5 grams of creatine monohydrate every single day. That's it. No loading, no cycling on and off, and no expensive, fancy chemical variations. Standard creatine monohydrate is the most bioavailable, most heavily researched, and most cost-effective form on the market. If you take 5 grams a day, your cellular stores will reach 100% maximum saturation within about 3 to 4 weeks, and they will stay there as long as you maintain the habit. You avoid the stomach ache, and you integrate a profound, sustainable habit into your daily routine. Here is the doctor's verdict: generate energy for life. We spend billions of dollars every year chasing longevity. We buy expensive serums, we try restrictive diets, and we search for the magic pill that will keep our minds sharp and our bodies resilient. Yet, sitting right in front of us is a deeply affordable, meticulously researched molecule that fundamentally improves how our cells generate the energy of life. Creatine is not just for the athletes, it is for the grandparents wanting to keep up with their grandchildren. It is for the professionals seeking cognitive clarity in a stressful world. It is a tool for sustainable, lifelong vitality. It's time to rethink the powder in the tub. Give your brain the battery it deserves. I want to hear from you. Are you going to start adding 5 grams to your morning routine? Let's start the conversation in the comments below. Stay resilient, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. Watch this video suggestion, it was especially picked for you. Please share, comment, like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you, it helps a ton with the algorithm. Remain tuned for future videos and keep growing.